Hello, everyone, and welcome to Co-Creation Station, the podcast where we talk about the law of attraction, the art of allowing, spiritual magic, the mind-body-spirit connection, and how to best enjoy this mystical, miraculous, mysterious, crazy, sometimes confounding, but always incredible journey we call life. My name is Collin. I'm located in beautiful, sunny North Hollywood, California.
My name is Stephanie Orlina. I am a transformational life coach, and I am in San Diego, California.
We want to thank you so much for listening or watching or both, whatever you're doing to join us today. We do want to let you know at the top of the show here that we often mention the names Abraham-Hicks and Esther Hicks. If you're not familiar with those names, Esther is a speaker and author who channels Abraham. Abraham is described as a group of entities from beyond our physical world who share their wisdom by speaking through Esther at workshops and speaking opportunities around the world. You can find out more about them by searching for Abraham Hicks or Esther Hicks on YouTube, on your web browser, or at their website, abraham-hicks.com. Each week we start our discussion here on Co-Creation Station from a different jumping off point. And this week, Stephanie, you have an understanding of our jumping off point, which I didn't get totally clear on before we started.
Well, what's
Something
up?
about manifesting and allowing, you said.
Well, like I think going into detail of what the art of allowing feels and what the art of allowing can feel and look like.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that's a lot of what we talked about in Friend Time. The last two episodes have been about scripting. And so I really tried to start doing what you were doing. And then I just, started doing a version of what you were doing, my own version. And then I just kind of threw up my hands. I'm like, I can't do this. And then what I did is I kept the same journal. And then I started, as you and Kelly like to call, future as present.
Mm-hmm.
And I only did it when I was in a better feeling mood. Like if I'm in a doubting mood or if I'm in a low energy mood, I will not do this because it's almost like when we've talked about in the past of how affirmations work,
Mm-hmm.
except when they don't, which is
Right.
when I'm in a bad mood, because then, you know,
Or if you're feeling really poor and agonizing about not having money, and then you try to do the affirmation like I'm abundant, lots of money comes to me every
yeah,
day, I'm
yeah,
abundant. Doesn't work.
yeah, doesn't work. Don't even
Does the
waste,
opposite.
we can't even waste our time and energy with that because it's totally defeating. Um, and so then I just have my journal out on my dresser and I write the date of the following day on the top. And so that in the morning or in the afternoon, whenever I get to it, and I'm in a better feeling state, whatever may be on my heart, whether it be financial abundance, whether it be a romantic relationship, whether it be my home, whatever it may be, I'll write, thank you so much for dot, dot, dot,
Mm,
dot. And then I'll go into a little detail about why I love it so much or
mm.
why I'm thankful for it. And it's just like a paragraph, if even that, a sentence or what have you. And it feels really good. And so what I was sharing in friend time is that doing that daily, it helps me believe that it's done.
Mm-hmm.
It's building that belief muscle. And so I had come across a Abraham that I had heard a long time ago. And these are workshops that they've done where people get on stage and then they have a conversation with Abraham and they
And
record him.
this is a you listen to it as a video on YouTube that people could find.
Yes, a lot of times it's not the actual people. A lot of times they have graphics that's like a cartoonish type thing. But the audio is what's real.
The title of this one is Everything in all caps. He wrote down manifested exclamation point brackets scripting technique.
Ah, it's so good. Remind me and I'll put that in the link for this
Okay.
episode. Um, he's just he's really great. So I heard it a long time ago, came across it this past week, and then I added in kind of like what he did two different things. He did future as present, so he wrote down how his life is and that he would, as if he was writing a letter to Abraham because he knew that at some point he would be thanking them for all these things. And then a separate thing, he goes, I finally got it. He goes, you've been telling us all along, and it's just like, go have fun, do things that feel good. So he goes, I wrote a list of like 30 things, whatever he said. And then every day I'd ask, okay, what do I want to do? Do something that feels, oh, okay, I'm going to go pet my cat. So I was going to do that, get a calendar every day, write a huge list of them. And I didn't. I was like, yeah, But what I did do is I was like, okay, what fun thing do I want to do today? And I did start a list, but what I started doing was I walk Nibbles around the block and I'm
Nibbles is
getting
your dog.
Sarah loves
First
that.
time listeners.
When you say that. And so like just hear her saying, who else would she walk? Like
Just clearing it up.
I know. And so I've been going different routes. And the other day I went down to Marina Boulevard because the train tracks are down there and I love trains. And that on that day I came across a backyard that had these beautiful chimes. They're the big, thick um chimes, and so the tone is very deep. Love them. Came across that, never seen it before. The day was gorgeous. It was late afternoon. It was cloudy, different. The clouds were like different shades and colors, and the sun was starting to set. And the thought of possibly seeing the train, I was in so much joy. And Nibbles is such a happy dog. Just seeing him bopping around, like, having my heart was singing. And so every day I do a little something different, and I'm just cool things are happening, like things that I'll think about. Oh, I want, I haven't found another company that I love that I like to buy stock of. And then a few days later, a product that I use, I'm like, let me see who owns them. And I'm like, oh my God, they're publicly traded.
Hmm.
And so I can, and there's 4 products that they produce that I use. I'm like, okay, I could buy this company. Little things like that. And I'm seeing it's all because I'm doing these other little things that I've just mentioned.
Mhm.
And and that is the art of allowing,
Mm,
being in that better feeling state.
mm,
It's as simple as that.
mhm. Yeah, I mean, I think that I was just one thing for me is that when I first learned about the law of attraction was from watching the film The Secret, and they use the term manifesting a lot, and I don't think they use the word allow. That was something I learned from listening to Esther and Abraham videos, and I use both interchangeably now, but I tend to prefer allow because manifesting still to me it's just all like what these words mean to us, like and
Yeah,
they can mean different things to different people and often do.
right.
But like when people in like the world of folks who understand the law of attraction and talk about it, when they say, "Oh, you got to manifest it," like I feel like it's like you're pregnant with something and you have to like you're gonna have this really painful, awful, uncomfortable thing of trying to manifest it out of you. It's like that doesn't work as well for me. It's just allowing because when I say allow, I just sort of remember, oh, this isn't about me working hard to birth something from my vortex into reality. This is really me as an extension of the universe just working with the forces that are always working and just not getting in the way and being like a channel and just like literally being like, hey universe, I think I'd like this, and just zip, and it's like that's what allow feels like to me.
Yes,
you know
yes.
like if you think about people, like if they want to get into like a dance club or something, like a that's hard to get into, they'd be like, oh, we got to get into that club. But if somebody says, oh, the door guy will just allow you to come in, it's like, which one is easier? It's like, yeah, allow. But the other thing is like, yeah, there's kind of, I didn't really fully grasp what you were going for when you mentioned before, right before we started, like talking about manifesting and allowing. But one of the things that occurs to me about it is that number one, you're the one that reminds me of this. It's happening all the time. We're manifesting or allowing all the time.
Yeah.
We have this experience of like, oh, I only allow things every once in a while because I wanted some money and then I allowed it in. It showed up on Tuesday. But the reality is, you've allowed in everything that's happening in your life all the time. It's just the law of attraction
Okay,
never
so I
stops.
just heard Joe Vitale right there.
Oh, really? Did I
Yeah, I
steal that
did. I
one?
totally did. That was great.
Well, mad props and respect to Joe Vitale from The Secret.
Yes.
But yeah, but it's like, so I think that's one of the things that the scripting exercise is helping me understand, which is that, oh, this isn't like, if I have a day where I'm not thinking about things that I want, or what do I want my day to be like, it's not that I'm not allowing, it's that I'm not aware of what I am allowing. And what the scripting is helping me do is be aware of that I'm allowing all day and what I'm
Mm.
allowing. And I've noticed, you were saying like doing the specific thing we talked about. The book, by the way, is by Royce Kristen, and I'm blanking on the title, even though it's right there behind me. Um, it's like write your way to the life you want, or something like that. But I've been trying to strictly follow his suggestions for the morning, the evening, and what he says is a 10-day script. I've been doing a 7-day because that works better for me. But like I've been trying to do that religiously, like kind of the way he says it, and I've been struggling. And it's interesting because the first week or so I was all excited, I did it every day, no problem.
Yeah, right.
And then like
Almost like a
anything,
diet or something like,
yeah,
I'm gonna go to the
yeah.
gym or whatever. Oh, gung ho.
But what's
And then,
interesting is the parts that I'm resisting. I'm not resisting the first 3 steps in the morning. I pretty easily do the 5 to 7 things I want. I write them as I want, I want, I want. Then those same 5 to 7 intentions. Today I intend that, whatever. And then what I call the knowings. You can do believe, but I do knowings. Um, so the exact same 5 or 7 things I know, and I write it in the past tense. So it's like I know Stephanie and I had a bunch of fun creating 2 awesome episodes of Co-Creation Station today, which I actually did in my scripting today. So those I do fine. What the challenge for me is the last part of the morning, which is where I have to write my day as if
yeah.
it already happened.
Yeah.
Like I'm writing
So
about
the
the
future,
future.
that's the future is present then,
Future is
right?
present. I'm
Yeah.
writing it. And like my resistance to it, I think, is just is that is like part of it's like, well, it hasn't happened yet. Why am I writing about, like it's a logical thing in my brain that I'm just like, oh, that's going to be hard because that's not how my brain normally thinks. And it's true. Like I am reprogramming my mind in that way. And that's why it is hard or harder right now for me. And that is why I resist it. It's like, so
Yeah.
most mornings I make sure I do the 3 because that still helps. And I'm still I'm choosing to write the knowings in the past tense. So that kind of, it's almost getting there to like,
It is. And you know what? It's all good. Like I found those first three or four, the first three, a lot of fun.
yeah,
They were enjoyable. I could tell my belief grew with each one I wrote. The
yeah,
I want, the I intend, I know,
yeah,
or believe, I
yeah.
believe.
Oh, that totally
Um,
works. Yep. But
and so this was the other thing that I wanted to say about what I've been doing recently is that I'm building that belief muscle and it feels really good because Abraham,
yeah,
and you can see my book back here, Ask and It Is Given, my copy. Um, when we ask, it is given. And I'm the only one, as you say, who is slowing it down.
yeah,
It's there energetically, even though I can't, Florence Scovel Shinn says, I'm not fooled by appearances
yeah.
because she knew that everything before it physically manifests is energy.
Well, that's why writing that the future is present in the morning is so
Hmm.
challenging because nothing I'm writing about has happened yet. So I'm literally going against appearances. I'm writing things that I am
So you're
saying.
believing in the appearance bullshit, as most of us do.
Well, I think it's, yeah, I mean, I think it's more that like when I sit down to write that, I mean, the
Wait,
thing
wait,
is
wait.
when
You're
I,
believing in the appearance. Yeah. Well,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
when I do it, I no longer believe in the appearance. I mean, that's what's when I can get myself to do that morning
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
I actually don't believe in the appearance at the end of it. I believe in the manifestation, which is pretty mind blowing. And what I was going to say too is that this I have an even tougher time with the what he recommends as a 10-day script, meaning you're writing as if it's 10 days from today and you're writing about the past 10 days as if they've already happened. So what you're really doing is you're writing about the future 10 days, but you're writing it as if it already happened. That's even harder because I'm going even more against appearances. Here's a whole week of things that haven't happened yet that I'm going to write as if they've totally happened. But I think that that's the most important part for me right now because in the day to day, my thinking is kind of small and it sort of should be because I'm like, it's one day, it's 24 hours. The thing about the 7-day for me or the 10-day in the book is that allows me to stretch more. It allows me to allow in more things than I would normally allow in a day. So like, for example, if I'm sorry to go to money, but it's just like the easiest example, and it's what, let's face it, it's what most of us write about anyway. Um,
Or think about,
like
right?
if I really want, like, whatever, $1,000 to show up, it's challenging for me to write that in my daily, and be like, oh, I'm so happy and grateful that $1,000 showed up today.
Mhm.
But it's much easier to do that in the 7 or 10 day, because it's
Mhm.
like, oh, and then I don't have to be specific, like on Tuesday, da da da. I can be like, oh,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then another
Well,
great thing that happened this week was I got $1,000.
and
So
that's softening the resistance.
yeah,
That is going more general.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is like, it's really, it's allowing me to stretch myself, but my brain can tell how, it's almost like my brain knows, like, oh, you're stretching, like,
Yeah.
things really don't appear that way right now. Like, are
Yeah,
you
yeah.
sure you can do, and it's kind of like a
So
muscle
this
that
is
I have to
what I was just
exercise, of like, yep, I'm going to write it anyway. I'm going to write it anyway. And it's so funny because I've had multiple things already that, honestly, as I started writing the 7 day script, I'm like, yeah, oh, and then I got this. There's a pretty loud voice in my head that's like, yeah, right, buddy, no freaking way. And those things have shown up. So it's like that voice again. That voice is wrong.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the risk of this is that I'm going to be just completely annoying in the social sphere, because so many people are like, "Oh, you can't do that," rah, rah, rah. And I'm just learning. Like, I've been preaching this for a long time, but now I'm actually really believing and understanding at a deep level. It's like, oh, every limit we have is put on us by ourselves from our own mind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And yeah, because what I have it in my phone, it's like, I'm the only one blocking
Hmm.
anything that I want. It has nothing to
Yeah,
do with anyone else,
yeah,
unless I take on their opinion, but then it's
yeah,
still me doing it.
yeah,
And I've recently been hearing one of Abraham's talk about what is in your vortex. Physical reality is past tense.
yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I love that one. Because if I think about it, when I was over a year ago, when I was still living at my last home, um, that was past tense.
Mm,
And
yeah.
what is at that point was where I'm at now. And I didn't know that.
Well, I think we talked about this right before we started recording. Like, one of the cool things about the scripting that's helped me is my brain, the line between the present and the future is getting very blurry in my brain. And that is a very good thing,
Hmm.
because if it's ironclad, well, this is how it is now, and maybe I'll get to this in the future, but it's definitely not now. That's resistance. That's actually delaying things that are coming. But if I'm hazy, I'm like, did this already happen, or is it?
Yeah.
There's that great thing, and I think this is Joe Vitale also. This great thing in the film The Secret, where they're talking about he's talking about, like, they're just using the example of a car, like somebody wanting a new car, and like practicing, like sitting in their armchair in their living room, closing their eyes, and like visualizing and feeling the the new car so much that when you're done, you don't feel like you need the car anymore, because you already have it.
Yeah.
Now, that's to
Yes.
somebody who doesn't believe in law of attraction, that just sounds like crazy. You're just being crazy.
Right. Yeah.
But honestly, like, it's that thing that Wayne Dyer always says. It's like, people think it's like, well, I'll believe it when I see it, and it's actually the universe actually works
Yeah.
the reverse. Like, once you
Exactly.
believe it, it comes.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So.
Oh, and so I was thinking, so that was the case, and I didn't know this place because I was looking for a place, over
Hmm.
a year and a month ago, and I was like, Steph, okay, so where I'm at right now is
Hmm.
past tense.
Yeah.
And what is my
Yeah.
next place. And I'm just like, oh my God, that's so cool. Because then when I can flash back to, back then, and I had no idea where I was going to move to. And then this popped up. It's like, yeah, it just pops up out of,
That's why complaining is such a trap, because when I complain, what I'm doing is I'm focusing on the present, and I'm doing kind of I'm still allowing, but what I'm allowing is just the same, you know. I say, oh man, I never have enough money. I never have enough money. I never have enough money. I'm actually, my vibration is, oh, again, like, it's just a law, but the universe is like, matching, like, oh, never having enough money, never having enough money, never having enough
Yeah,
money,
yeah,
you know. And so complaining is just completely self-sabotaging because basically you're creating a future, but the future is just repeating the present over and over. If you can get past that, then you have this dynamic of what you're talking about, which is what you're living in today. Anything you don't like is already kind of over, which is cool because and it becomes a cycle where if you realize, like, if you have a big problem and you realize it's over, like the universe has already arranged, because your vibration is good, it's already arranged for it to be, you're just not there yet in time.
yeah.
Then you can feel much more relief, because that's the other thing that happens when you're complaining or when you're depressed about something. It's like you're focusing on that thing, like, I never have enough money, so that's what you're manifesting. But it's also like you feel terrible,
Yeah,
so
and that's a
you're
big indicator right there.
yeah,
Our
so your
emotions are an
energy.
indicator
Yeah.
of what we're
The thing is, if you
attracting.
if you allow yourself to feel the relieving thought of, oh, this is actually, I know there's a future very soon where that problem just isn't there, you feel great in that moment, which helps it come even faster because your vibration is higher. So it's one of
Yeah.
these things of, like, it's a snowball rolling downhill. You just choose which
I
way. You
know.
know what I mean? Like, are you just going to
Yes.
keep this thing going as it is, or are
Yeah.
you going to just feel better and better, and your life is just going to keep getting better and better? It's
Mm.
weird, and I think you said something. I don't remember now if it was before or during the podcast, but when people are like, oh shoot, I just lost my train of thought. I totally lost it. Sorry.
Well, and I heard something recently that I really liked and started reminding myself is complaining is blocking cash.
Yeah,
And honestly, complaining is blocking anything good that you want,
yeah. I
whatever
was
it
gonna
may
say
be.
it's also blocking the
Yeah.
boyfriend girlfriend. It's blocking the apartment you want, the house you want.
Health,
Yeah,
happiness,
yeah,
joy, moments.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
definitely one to let go of.
All right, great discussion. We're so happy you joined us today for this. We hope you got something good out of it. Remember, at this time in February of 2024, we're posting a brand new episode every single Monday morning for you. We truly appreciate you doing whatever your platform allows you to do to support the podcast. All of that helps other people find us, which is really awesome. All of our social media links, our email address, and our link to Patreon are in the doodly-doo, the description of the YouTube video version of this down below. If you go to the Patreon link, you can actually contribute a small amount every month and help keep the podcast going financially. And we are very grateful for those of you who do that. We wish you a happy and abundant week, and we look forward to you joining us again on the next episode of Co-Creation Station. Bye, everybody.
Bye.